Hello and welcome to. I don't know. It doesn't work as good as I thought it would. Welcome to Promenade Française. Let's just change. Does that change that? No. So that's okay. Maybe I just gotta clean my glasses. All right. So I got the mic back up. Actually, what happened is I got a new pair of earphones, and now I got this functioning mic. Before I was just pretending. So I was actually using the mic on my computer. It was probably catching all kinds of noise. And I don't know. We'll see if this works better. Maybe I'll just test it right now. Let's jump into this one here. My channel. It's currently live, so I should be able to hear my. Wow, that's way better. Great. Okay. That's good news for everyone, including. Well, I guess everyone includes everyone. French. Close all the other windows. So as you know, we have been doing a challenge. You could tell from the title. We're on day whatever it is now, day 23, I guess. I got some bad news about my study buddy. I got a message from my study buddy today, and she basically said, she said, I will pause today. Working overtime frequently recently. I'm tired and sick and sleepy now. She died. Now, to be fair, I failed in yesterday's challenge. I guess you could tell because there's a video missing from yesterday. I went to the capital. I live out in like a village on the corner of Russia and Azerbaijan. And it takes like 2.5 hours to get to Tbilisi, Georgia. That's the capital city. I had to do some stuff there. And like basically I sat on a bus for 2.5 hours in. Then I walked around all day long. And then I had to take a bus 2.5 hours back. By the time I got back, I was just so dead tired. I thought I was going to die. My dog, he didn't come in the house in the morning after our morning walk. So he had been outside all day long, and which was good because when I got home, I basically just like I had some dinner and then I just laid down for a minute just to rest my back a little bit, and then I woke up the next morning at 7 o'clock. So that was pretty crazy. Which means what? It means that, well, let's just jump. Let me share my screen. Now I did have a French lesson with my French tutor. We read chapter 25. We finished chapter 25 of Second Nephi. I think we also finished chapter 26. I don't actually use this screen when I'm in my lesson with her. Yeah, we finished chapter 26. So that means we're now on chapitre 27. Chapitre 27. Nice. And she was like, hey, let's do another lesson today and let's talk about the news because, sometimes, so this is 26. We're now on chapter 27 because, sometimes I use where is it? Français facile avec RFI. Right, so we could talk about Corée du Sud, so that looks like South Korea. Volodymyr Zelensky. We could talk about Ukraine and Russia. Wow, we could talk about Turkey. So I'm like way behind with reading French. Yeah. I haven't done anything with this is actually still the same page as whatever, it was like last week. I think I'm ahead. I think we're on lesson 8 now with the videos. Let's take a look at.
Hello，大家好，欢迎来到这个第8课的学习哈。今天是第2单元的最后一课了，叫做 Le
Le
coin
coin de
des artistes.
Le coin des artistes. Great. Okay, now let's jump into the challenge. So where are we for the challenge? I gotta look at her WhatsApp message. The last message she sent me was one with clothing on it. Excuse me. Wow, I don't get it. Okay, I'm sure we did this one. I remember talking about. Here's one with clothing on it. So this is the one that she did. I didn't do. Okay, le coin des artistes. Okay, so we got a problem because actually, I didn't watch the video for this. And update. Oh yeah, this is an interesting one. So décrivez ces deux hommes, 描述两个人物 l'homme à gauche, l'homme à droite. So obviously what we're going to say is, okay, there's a dude with there's a tall guy with brown hair. I don't know how to do this. See, the thing is, I'm not really learning French. I'm learning to read and I'm learning to understand it, but I'm not actually learning to speak it because I'm not practicing speaking. I could speak it right now, but I just don't want to. So how do we do this if I don't really want to do it? We just type it out in English. All right, so the man on the right has brown hair. He is tall and is wearing a white collared shirt. He has dark pants and tennis shoes. The man on the left is short with blonde hair. He's wearing a t-shirt, a white t-shirt, and a black jacket. He has blue jeans. He has blue jeans and dark and black shoes. Now the problem is I actually have to take a picture of this so I can copy and paste the text into the photo. All right, now I'm just going to bring back the text into the screen. And what am I going to do? So in this situation where I'm like not super interested in spending a lot of time, so I already had 1 hour of French today. And probably I'll continue to try to have 2 lessons a day as much as possible. And then on top of that, we're doing this quick little exercise. And on top of that, I'm like listening to those lessons. And then, so it's quite a bit. It's like at least 2.5 hours a day. So I just want to do this as simply as possible. L'homme est droite.
L'homme à droite a les
L'homme est droite et les cheveux bruns. Il est grand et porte une chemise blanche à col.
L'homme à droite a les cheveux bruns. Il est grand et porte une chemise blanche à col. Il porte un pantalon foncé et des baskets. L'homme à gauche est petit et blond. Il porte un t-shirt de merde et une veste noire. Il porte un jean bleu et des chaussures noires.
So the difference between like producing text, like producing words from your mind and producing words like just from reading is a huge difference. Obviously. But if you have a choice between nothing and producing words, just reading the words, then I think probably reading the words is better than nothing. Okay, I've copied and pasted the answers to this screenshot. Now, since we're here, let's try. Okay, so l'homme à droite et les cheveux bruns. Il est grand et porte une chemise blanche à col. Now, she kind of connected those. She said blanche à col. Blanche à col.
L'homme à droite a les cheveux bruns. Il est grand et porte une chemise blanche à col.
Blanche à col. Et porte une chemise blanche à col. L'homme à droite a les cheveux bruns. Il est grand et porte une chemise blanche à col. Il porte un pantalon foncé et foncé. What's foncé? Dark? Foncé et des baskets. L'homme est gauche et petit et blond. L'homme à gauche est petit et blond. Il porte un t-shirt et merde. T-shirt de merde. Merde. He's wearing a shite t-shirt. Okay. He's wearing a shite t-shirt. Il porte un t-shirt blanc et une veste noire. Il porte un jean bleu et des chaussures noires. Okay, I better change that. It's a good translation. Doesn't like my... I think I'm just going to leave it like that. My study buddy's not going to notice because she quit. She took the day off. The thing is, like, she's like, I'm going to take the day off. It's like, wait a minute, but you already like lost once. You already lost the challenge once, which means you're already down $100. Now, if I miss one day, that doesn't mean that you get to quit. It just means that now we're even. All right, so let's generate the speech. Let's reset these values. Generate the speech.
L'homme à droite a les cheveux bruns. Il est grand et porte une chemise blanche à col. Il porte un pantalon foncé et des baskets. L'homme à gauche est petit et blond. Il porte un t-shirt blanc et une veste noire. Il porte un jean bleu et des chaussures noires.
No, it would be crazy if you couldn't hear that. Because, like, this would make it so uninteresting if you can't hear that. It would mean that I'm not sharing the text.
L'homme à droite a les cheveux bruns. Il est grand et porte une chemise blanche à col. Il porte un pantalon foncé et des baskets. L'homme à gauche est petit et blond. Il porte un t-shirt blanc et une veste noire. Il porte un jean bleu et des chaussures noires.
Okay, l'homme à droite a les cheveux bruns. Now the thing is, like, I got lots of tokens because I haven't made anything for a long time. So let's just separate this into sentences. And then we're going to regenerate the speech. In fact, I'm going to ask ChatGPT, like, what's the... Let's copy and paste this text. And then we're going to jump into ChatGPT. ChatGPT. Okay, so is there... something I can do to slow down this text, the reading of this text in 11 labs and put a 2-second space between each sentence. All right, so now we're going to copy and paste this. Dink. I have no idea what's going to happen. All right, let's try this. Generate speech. If it says speak, I'm not going to be happy.
L'homme à droite a les cheveux bruns. Il est grand et porte une chemise blanche à col. Il porte un pantalon foncé et des baskets. L'homme à gauche est petit et blond. Il porte un t-shirt blanc et une veste noire. Il porte un jean bleu et des chaussures noires.
All right, so you can see this is only a 23-second file, and this is rewind 10 seconds. So what we're going to do is I'm going to play each sentence, and I'm going to pause between each sentence to repeat. And then once we get past the l'homme est droite, so just before we get to l'homme est gauche, I'm going to click to repeat, rewind 10 seconds. And then I'm going to do section 1 again. And then we'll do section 2 twice.
L'homme à droite a les cheveux bruns.
L'homme est droite et les cheveux bruns.
Il est grand et porte une chemise blanche à col.
Il est grand et porte une chemise blanche à col.
Il porte un pantalon foncé et des baskets.
Il porte un pantalon foncé et des baskets.
Cheveux bruns. Il est grand.
So I didn't do it quite perfect.
L'homme à droite a les cheveux bruns.
L'homme est droite et cheveux bruns.
Il est grand et porte une chemise blanche à col.
Il est grand et porte une chemise
Il
blanche.
porte un pantalon foncé et des baskets.
Il porte un pantalon foncé et des baskets.
L'homme à gauche est petit et blond.
L'homme à gauche est petit et blond.
Il porte un t-shirt blanc et une veste noire.
Il porte un t-shirt blanc et une veste noire.
Il porte un jean bleu et des chaussures noires.
Il porte un jean bleu et des chaussures noires.
Petit et blond.
Petit et blond.
Il porte un t-shirt blanc et une veste noire.
Il porte un t-shirt blanc et une veste noire.
Il porte un jean bleu et des chaussures noires.
Il porte un jean bleu et des chaussures noires. All right, so that's another way to do it. Okay, let's jump back into the textbook. Here's the textbook. So tomorrow we're going to do this, Le Coin des Artistes. But not today. Let's jump back into the here. In fact, what? This is lesson 8. Dang it. That means we got to take a closer look at this textbook. Okay, Le Coin des Artistes, le môme, un film d'Olivier Rodan avec Marion Cotillard. So I guess this is like a must-watch movie. Interesting. So we got, it's from the song La Vie en Rose. La poète est entre Henri Matisse et Camille Claudel. Claude Debussy est à droite dans le tableau. Le sculpteur est une femme. What sculpture? What's this sculpture? Colette est à gauche du peintre. Le poète est à gauche du sculpteur et à droite un peintre. À côté à Claude Debussy, il y a le sculpteur. Le peintre est à côté de l'écrivain. L'écrivain est à gauche dans le tableau. Guillaume Apollinaire, n'est-ce pas le musicien? I have no idea what that's talking about. I could see an E and an F, a D. I don't know, let's jump into here and see what's going on here.
这个 coin 哈 coin 什么意思 ？coin 是角落的意思哈。coin des articles qualifiés 这个形容词的阴阳性，它的单复数与其修饰的名词保持。
Okay, so she said that the adjective, it maintains the gender that is assigned to the noun.
Général pour former le féminin.
Now she's giving some rules. So, for example, she said, in general, for the end of the feminine adjectives, 构成形象性形容词的是，一般来言，或者是阳性形容词词尾加上 e. So for 构成阳性形容词形式。Okay, so it's saying if you, for a feminine adjective, you're going to add an e at the end of the masculine word. So, for example, grand is masculine adjective. You're going to add an e for the feminine. Marié is masculine. Marié sounds the same, but you add an e. Original. Okay, good.
停留保持哈，还
Now, if the masculine word ends in an e, then you're just going to keep the e at the end of the word. For example, Swiss. The word Swiss always ends in an e, even though, yeah, okay. So the word Swiss always ends in an e. Now, in different languages, they apply different concepts to description words for nationality. It looks like in the French language, they're just saying that nationality is basically just a adjective. So now if the word Swiss, the adjective ends in an E already. So for masculine, it ends in an E. And then for feminine, it also ends in an E.
consonne finale.
All right. So for example, Giorgio is Italian. For feminine, you'd add the NE. So it's asking parfois en double le consonne féminin. So when do you add so in this when the Italian ends in an N or an L, then you add an additional N and then an E. And then there's some changes here. So this is when you have to make some big changes. So for example, sportif and changes to sportive, sérieux changes to sérieuse, rêvière, rêveuse, menteur, menteuse, calculateur, calculatrice. So you can see there's a problem here because EUR is sometimes ICE and sometimes it's USE. And then also EUX is a USE. So that's no fun. I guess you just have to memorize it.
Pound.
Now she's going through looks like she's going through the case particulier. Okay, these are exceptions. So, for example, look, beau is masculine and it's a completely different word. for feminine. Ro is rose. Gros is grosse. Frais is fraîche. Faux is fausse. Gentil, gentille. Faux, folle. Blanc, blanche. Nouveau, nouvelle. Jaloux, jalouse. Bas, basse. Sec, sec, sèche. Doux, douce. Vieux, vieille, vieille. Long, long, li, 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 li. So we got some exceptions. You're gonna learn those over time.
应该就很熟悉了。
很熟悉啦. So now that you're familiar with the situation, en général, pour le format de pleurer, okay, so it's saying 一般而言，形容词的加 s 构成形容词复数形式。So now with the if you want to make the adjective plural, so Paul is grand, masculine grand, and is feminine grande, then you just add the s for the plural.
Daniel est roux. Daniel est roux 什么意思？
Now, in here, it's saying what? Quand le singulier se termine par s ou x, le pluriel reste indique. So it's like, all right, so français, Jean et français, it already ends in an s. And then et heureux and vieux, they end in x. And so for the plural, you also you just maintain whatever letter is at the end. You just keep the s at the end. You don't have to change it.
我们看这边 Max est
And then in this case, if Max is ending in an AL, then you change it for plural to an AUX. Wow, this is lots of fun. Now,
形容一个男生
形容一个男生, so if you're describing Jean as beau, then it changes to BEOUX for plural. Magasin, it just add an X. But the nouveau, you see the nouveau, you add an X. See, this is why I do so much reading, because I don't really want to memorize all this stuff. And I understand that memorizing it is actually the way to go. That's the fastest way. You just sit down and then you do the rote learning and just push yourself and do it.
film 它有一个定冠词
Okay, now she talks about the film. The reason she's talking about this film is because she's going to actually talk about, she's going to go into
今天
this,
稍微休息一下
going to go in through this, through this song, but we're not going to go through the song. Basically, yeah, so she went through all this plural. And the question is, now that we've gone through all of that stuff in the plural, like why did they use this to describe these guys? And then why is this this is like this is a review from the last chapter, which apparently I didn't learn. And then 读下面的两段描述，说出哪一段的照片对相应，然后在另外的纸上根据另外一段描述一次。So you're supposed to just check a box, like which one is this? So this is Colette est dans un fauteuil. So she's sitting in an armchair. The other one is Colette est derrière une table. She's behind a table. Dans un fauteuil. Derrière, behind her, il y a des livres sur les étagères. Behind her, there are books on shelves. Des livres sont sur la table. Okay, so it's check number 1 because there's no books on her table. La table devant elle. The table is devant elle et contre le mur. So it is devant. What is it? Devant is next to or beside, I guess. I don't know. Devant elle. Devant elle. Devant elle. In front of her. Yes, that's true. Et contre le mur. And like along the wall. Sur la photo. I guess there must be a a photo on this wall. Sous la fenêtre, under the window. Ses lunettes sont sur la table. There's glasses on her table. Et la fenêtre est à droite sur la photo. And the window is to the left of the photo. There must be a photo up here. I don't see a photo anywhere. Where's this? There's the glasses. Yeah, so what I did was I just jumped into our good buddy ChatGPT and I asked ChatGPT to create an image of what's you can see in the description for the second description. And I sent it to my study buddy a while ago. Yeah, here it is. So, nice. I'm just gonna throw this in here. So here's the other one. All right, so this one says, Colette est derrière une table. So she's behind the table, dans un fauteuil, sitting in an armchair. Des livres sont sur la table. The books are on the table. Sur les étagères, on the bookshelves, et droit sur la photo. On the bookshelves and left of the photo, il y a ses lunettes. There's a pair of glasses. I don't know. Like, okay, here's a pile of books. That's true. But I don't see glasses on the shelf. Sur les étagères, et droit sur la photo, il a ses lunettes. Yeah, that's not true. La fenêtre est derrière elle, and there's a window behind her. Yeah, so it got some of the stuff right. Anyways, it's good fun. Seems like I'm enjoying French to some extent. It's things like it's good fun. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? And next we're going to move into the apartment. So the question is, this chapter, it just seems like a little bit weird here. La vie en rose. Quelle photo? La femme est centre. Yeah. Mais qui sont-ils? Lisez le texte plus effroi, complétez le tableau. Lisez反复阅读的文字。Okay, I think this is connected to this, I guess. To read this text. Encore. 你知道其他法国艺术家吗？有谁？请读这首诗，按照雅克普雷维的方式，就电影的一幅剧照想念一首诗。So there's a poem, une orange sur la table, ta robe sur le tapis, et toi dans mon lit. I'm not going to say anything. This is probably a deep meaning for French people, so probably going to leave that one alone. I have no idea what that says. Oh my goodness. And then we got to unit 3. So it's the same problem. We're just hitting this wall of like, this chapter has so many different weird things in it. it's very context related. There's poetry, there's a movie, and I mean, honestly, I think we should just pass by this without too much concern because, you know, if you like French movies, if you think now's a good time to watch a French movie, if you want to learn a couple of words related to French, like poetry, you know, if you want to learn something about the French culture, then this is where you would spend some time and enjoy the process and just really dig deep into this stuff and learn something and feel really good about that. But if, on the other hand, you're just kind of trying to maintain some kind of speed and maintain some kind of process, and you don't want to get caught up with, you know, this type of thing like me, then we're just going to end this now because it's time for me to go to sleep. So we're just going to go bye-bye. We're going to go bye-bye. All right. Thanks for joining me here on Promenade Française, and we'll see you next time.